In Buddhism, there is a saying, Arhats become ignorant and Bodhisattvas become lost after being born as humans. It means that often cultivators forget who they were and what they were doing in their previous lives and become vulgars, flowing in the current of birth and death. Today, I would like to share with you a story about one previous life of Maitreya Buddha when he was born as a woman and lost in the greed for wealth. In that life, Shakyamuni Buddha was Shakra, the heavenly king. Although he was in a dignified position, he still practiced Bodhisattvas deeds and liberated sentient beings according to conditions. One day, in meditation, he saw that one of his previous cultivator friends, Maitreya, was reincarnated as a woman, married a rich man, surrounded by gold and silver treasures, and her heart was bewildered by the wealth, gradually sinking into it and becoming a greedy, rich woman. She sat in her shop every day, excited about gaining a bit of profit and distressed about losing a bit of profit. Her heart always revolved around wealth, and she was not aware of the impermanence of life at all. She lost her peace of mind. So the heavenly king Shakra disguised himself as a businessman and came to the shop of this rich woman. The rich woman thought that there was business coming, so she stood up enthusiastically to welcome him. She also immediately ordered her son to fetch a stool for the god of wealth. The businessman did not talk about business. Instead, she kept laughing at the woman. Although the rich woman was greedy for money, she was not dissolute and she stuck to women's chastity. She was very angry at the businessman's teasing and molesting in her heart, but she couldn't reveal her true feeling. It just so happened that her son was playful and was late to get a stool, so she slapped her son as an excuse, reminding the businessman to keep his duty. However, the businessman still winked and laughed at her. The rich woman couldn't bear it anymore, so she had to say, "You are a businessman. You come to my place. You don't talk about business or buy anything. You just keep laughing. I am telling you, you're so frivolous. Don't you feel ashamed?" The businessman said, "If I am obsessed with sex, then you are obsessed with money. Man, you were once my close friend, don't you remember?" When the rich woman heard this, she became even more annoyed and severely reprimanded the businessman for speaking out of nowhere, which was impolite. The businessman said with a smile, "Have you completely forgotten? The two of us once practiced together in the mountains, lived in caves together, and studied together." The rich woman heard him talking more and more shamelessly, so she raised the whisk in her hand to hit him. The businessman was very clever. He grabbed the whisk and continued, "Madam, what I said is all about the previous life. Don't you remember?" The rich woman was taken aback and startled by the businessman's words. The businessman shook his head and heaved a long sigh. It's only after a lifetime that the cultivator friends who had practiced together for 60 years meet each other and don't know each other anymore. From this we can see how impermanent the hearts of all living beings are. The Buddhist scripture says that if you confuse yourself by looking for things, you will not be able to see the truth. Similarly, people who are addicted to material desires cannot feel the detachment of the soul. That's why I laughed at you." The woman just realized that this businessman was not seducing her, but laughing at her. However, no matter how hard she tried to recall the past life experience, she couldn't remember anything. The businessman said again, "It seems that you have fallen into confusion. I can only remind you that the glory and wealth of the world are like flashes of the light, fleeting. You should be aware of the impermanence of the world. Don't indulge yourself in the desires for wealth. Restrain your outward-seeking heart and practice the sixth paramita. I will visit you again in the future." After speaking that, the businessman suddenly disappeared. The rich woman felt lost, as if she felt something in her heart, but what was it? She couldn't tell. After what happened that day, the woman stopped going to the store every day. She took refuge in the three treasures and started to uphold precepts and practice devoutly. After all, the rich woman had virtuous roots. After practicing hard, she gradually realized that she was indeed a great cultivator, and Heavenly King Chakra, who came to enlighten her, was indeed a fellow cultivator who had practiced with her for many years in the past. Amitabha, this is today's Dharma share. Isn't this an interesting story? Are you one of the lost cultivators? Do you remember who you were in your previous lives and why you are here in this life? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.